Bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and the...
What if I told you that this was shot and edited in less than 90 minutes? Matrix reference?
Let me tell you why you're here.
No? Cool! Check this out. VidCon was cool, but I'll be honest, we spent most of our time by the pool. You know, enjoying that water, that's blue. Drank a coconut out of a straw, that's bamboo. Some TikTokers were there, bless you. He said it'd be fine on a tripod like an interview. And I said, nah, I got my Ronin, dude. Edited from my bed and saw its completion through. Then sent them the link as if I was meeting them at the rendezvous. Bars. Is that really necessary? My bad. Honestly, if you watch that back, you can see that I told the whole story with that. Dude, that wasn't on purpose. So I'm not lying when I say that this was shot and edited in less than 90 minutes. So, fasten your seatbelts. So me, my cousin, Hayden, and the boys, we're all just chilling out by the pool. And then Matt, who works for Epidemic Sound, he says, hey, would you be able to record these guys? They're dancers, they're from TikTok. All you have to do is just put it on a tripod, just a locked off shot. Would you be able to do that? And I said, well, yeah, but that sounds kind of boring. And he goes, oh no, man, I just don't want to make you work. And I said, dude, don't worry about it. Let me go to the room and let me grab the room. Yeah, I love that thing. Sorry, that's too much. Anyway, so we didn't have that much time. So these guys just started doing the choreography there on the spot. So as they were getting set up, I grabbed my camera and just got some B-roll. The actual shoot only took about 30 minutes. But I decided, hey, might as well get some B-roll just in case. So this leads me to my first point. Get a lot of B-roll. That means that aside from all the performances, aside from everything, get stuff that you can just fill in just in case you need to cover up something. One of the wisest people in the world told me this: always get more B-roll than you need. I think it was like Tupac or something. Get some shots of them getting ready. Maybe they're stretching, maybe they're talking through a different point, because people want to see that. They don't just want to see performance. So we're walking around and Matt says, hey man, where should we film this? We went back and forth on different places and we finally decided right there on the Epidemic Sound wall 3D Jaguar lion tiger thingy. When it comes to a dance video, the location is everything because it's literally just in that same position. You can't cut away to a drone shot, you can't cut away to another location. It's literally just that moment. So don't stand really close to a colorless wall because that's gonna be so boring. The goal in everything is to get depth in your shot. So we thought this place would work. Fun fact, originally, we were going to do it in this spot right in front where it says Epidemic Getaway, and I had the idea of actually getting into the pool with my Ronin and just swimming. Yeah, that sounds like a stupid idea. It would've looked sick though. Here's the next thing. Be observant of what they were doing. So the guys were just dancing and practicing, and I was watching the entire time to see where they did some hits, where they did some accent things, where did they need to move out of frame. So if you're thinking about these things, you can have accents in just the camera movement before you even get into the editing room. I even asked them, hey, is there a moment that you guys need to be out of frame or something like that? Because it would be really awkward if, you know, they're like, hey, we're gonna go out of frame here, and then they're literally just standing there. So here's a bonus tip. Accent movements, accent sounds, accent those things. Watch for certain things to make them look bigger, to make them sound bigger, so that in the editing room, you can have a bigger punch whenever they lock in or whenever they hit, or maybe in a smooth part of it, you can maybe do something different.
The birdie is back. Tell me I'm gone.
Don't accent something that isn't there. I have seen so many videos where editors are trying to make an accent out of something that isn't there. You know what I'm talking about? It's where they have an effect in the most random of places. It's like the editor is just trying to draw attention to themselves. Don't be that guy or girl. Take this for an example. You see, I'm moving in, and then the moment that they accented, I stopped and I kind of jerked the camera just a little bit so that it would be an accented moment, and then in post, I can just add a little bit more to it. But it's because I'm thinking for the edit. Next thing, make sure that you are recording audio. The last thing you want to do in music and dance videos is sitting there trying to guess at where things are. Because if not, you might be sitting there for 8 to 10 hours on a 15-second clip that should have taken you literally like 3 seconds if you could have just synchronized the audio, but when in actuality, your camera wasn't even on or even recording audio or even had a mic on top of it. So you realize that something that should have taken you 2 hours actually ended up taking you about 10 hours. I don't know who that happened to, but let's move on. Record audio, sync it in post, it's that easy. This is kind of embarrassing, but if you're interested, you can click right up there. You can see the finished edit, and maybe you won't notice it, but it can give you a good idea on how big of a headache I had when I was trying to edit that video. Next thing, make sure you get that f-stop up. When you're dancing, when people are moving, you need to have a larger depth of field so that you can keep them in focus. Imagine if you went in there with a 1.4 and you're just moving back and forth, everything is going to be out of focus. I always say no more than 5.6. It still gives you a little bit of that blurry background, but at the same time, you have a lot more room to play with to see where that focus area is. In this case, for example, I think I had it at f4 the entire time. You may notice that I'm sitting in this 3 to 4 feet distance just because anything outside of that would be out of focus. Next, plan out how you will end. A lot of times in dance videos and different things, the cameraman has no idea what's going on with the dance moves. So as soon as they're done, they're just still standing there, and then in post, all they gotta do is just fade out or cut it because they weren't paying attention. So in this case, be a lot more aware of the choreography. So the moment that they finish, you can maybe do a movement like I did here to just fade to black and maybe get a 3D vertigo effect in the process. I'll be honest, I was procrastinating, just hanging out by the pool and just chilling out, hanging out. I really didn't want to go back to the room and edit. So I didn't. At least, not that day. So I went to bed, woke up an hour earlier, and just edited from the comfort of my bed. As you saw, there was nothing crazy special about the edit. Just a little bit of camera shake to add some movement, a little bit of punch-ins to accent some of those snares and some of those claps, but honestly, not too much. And I slapped on a contrasty color grade just because in hip-hop and dance videos, this is kind of what you see normally. Can you imagine if I would have color graded it in a completely different direction? Man, it just loses like all street cred. This is where you should be familiar with what other people are doing in that specific space. Because if not, you can distract somebody from the video without even intending to. As far as sound design is concerned, I left a little bit of the audio that was actually recorded live because it was a little raw. It felt like you were there with them. It felt like in your face. And also, I didn't want to go back and put in every single footstep and every single movement afterwards. Check this example out. Watch what happens when I take out the raw audio. You see, it feels lifeless and it seems like it's just too clean. I originally wanted to do some crazy B-roll sequence at the beginning, but the music didn't call for it. Which leads me to a bonus tip. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. In this case, the music didn't call for it. Just because you can edit some sick B-roll sequence doesn't mean that you should do it. You're happy I didn't do that, right? All in all, the edit took me an hour. So that is how you knock out a dance video in less than 90 minutes. Now I understand that it is a short video, yo, I get that. But it is all about how you execute it. The main thing is this, take the opportunities that arise. Sometimes you'll get paid, sometimes you won't. But always do your best. Forget a celebrity, do it as if you were doing it for a king. Because maybe, just maybe, 2 of your favorite creators might actually see it and actually like it. That was a cool moment. YC Imaging and Creative Ryan, if you guys see this, I would love to link up with you guys and learn from you guys. That's it guys, if at least one of these tips helped you out, go ahead and drop a like for me. And for more tips and tricks and storytelling at the best of my ability, feel free to subscribe. And I'll catch you on the flip side.